Hello, everybody. Welcome to the AEW Full Gear 2022 review. I am one of your hosts, Daniel of the Powerbomb Project, joined by my other two hosts.
It's Berman.
And Chris again.
So, 10 matches. We would talk about the pre-show, but we're not going to try to make this video too long, longer than it will be, and we're not going to try to waste your time. Overall, the pre-show consisted of decent to good matches. Starks versus Brian Cage was fine. The 10-man tag was like a popcorn 10-man tag. And then Eddie's dream match was good as well. So, yeah, enough of that. Now, you can check that out if you want in your own free time, but it's nothing great or amazing, just to tell you right now. That's the 0 hour. So, 10 matches. I'm going to be honest, I was not looking forward to this show at all. Or not at all, but there wasn't much I was looking forward to from this show. And I thought it was going to be kind of underwhelming for an AEW pay-per-view. And needless to say, I was wrong. And this ended up being one of the better pay-per-views throughout the entire year, not just from AEW, but for wrestling in general. This was a really, really good show. So before we dive into these matches, do you guys have any quick thoughts to give out?
No, I think it was a great show. I think they did a great job on it. But we did have a lot of struggles that we should mention before anything else. Trying to watch it.
Yes, trying to watch it. So, yeah, I had a little mistake with Bleacher Report, where I bought it from my Apple mobile device, and right after I bought it, the page refreshed and it told me that I never bought it, and it told me to purchase the event, even though in my bank I had proof of purchase. So I called the support, and I was on the line for 45 minutes, and majority of the time I was on hold, if I'm being quite honest. And I sent them 3 emails which had proof of purchase, which they needed, but they told me specifically that they aren't getting any emails, even though I sent them 3. And they told me how there's no purchase made on their end, that I was gonna have to deal with the bank. So needless to say, though, Bleacher Report, their website is dog shit, and because of that, I lost $50. Again, $50 isn't a lot of money. It's not a big deal, but it's just kind of bull crap to have to go through that sort of experience, wasting money like that. So, yeah. What I'll say is I will not be using Bleacher Report anymore to watch these events. If anything, I'll be going to a movie theater or a bar to catch these events. And yeah, that's all to it. Pretty much dog shit, in my opinion.
Yeah, we watched it. I would say don't give us a secret, but we watched it pretty much free, right? Like a day after, and I watched it early in the morning, the whole thing, for free. So, as a Bleach Report, you have nothing on free.
Yep, we pretty much found every single match as well. So that's how we are going to review today's show. So Bleacher Report is good for nothing. That's all I could say on that. And yeah, another thing to talk about real quick, we're going to talk more about them in this show. But AEW has the reputation of having more lively crowds than WWE does. They have the most alive crowds in all of wrestling, quite frankly, if I'm being honest. And, if you watch Dynamite every week, they have loud crowds. If you watch AEW pay-per-views, those crowds go crazy. AEW 2021's crowd was insane. The crowd that we went to, where we were a part of the Double or Nothing 2022 crowd, and we killed that shit. We were energetic from start to finish. Even the main event, we had a lot of energy left for them. And the show was 5 hours, so we did our part. And, Full Gear 2021, another great crowd. But this crowd was absolute and utter dog shit, and may even be one of the worst crowds in the entirety of AEW's pay-per-view history. Getting tired after 2 matches when there are a total of 10. I understand if you were getting tired after the 4th or 5th, but getting tired after the 2nd, yeah, what's the point of even spending your money then? at that point.
Yeah, makes no sense. We hated the crowd so much that we talked about it so long. There was like 2 matches. Yeah, they were so hyped. Everyone's saying good stuff, and then like right after the Nyla Rose, everything went completely dead. Like their souls got sucked out of them, just floating up the air. And then they came back at the end of the. They came back on the second match, the Jamie Hayter match, and they came back like halfway. And it's like Jesus Christ, like what happened to all the energy from like the Britt Baker, Soraya, or like Darby Allin, Sting, Jeff Jarrett matches? Like there's no spirit with that matches. So, like this is dumb.
Agreed. Chris, what do you think of the crowd?
Oh, it was great, dude. The crowd was so lovely and lively. It just shows that Jade Cargill and Nyla Rose ruined this event.
I don't think that was it.
No, that
I
wasn't it.
cannot. Yeah, they were just a terrible crowd. That's just my personal opinion. But yeah, let's move on. Kick things off with a steel cage match. Jungle Boy Jack Perry versus Luchasaurus with Christian Cage at ringside. Still injured, and he's in a little arm sleeve. Overall, wow, fantastic. Just a fantastic match right here. You have Luchasaurus looking like a monster, and Jungle Boy really looking like a David versus Goliath. He's the David, obviously, in this situation. And yeah, it's just a great back and forth match. I only have one tiny complaint about the entirety of this match, and it's a minor gripe. It's nothing major, but it's whenever Christian Cage, steals the keys and gets the door open, and he gets kicked out and all of that. Luchasaurus and Jungle Boy, they brawl on the outside for quite a bit. They get some weapons in the ring. And while I don't think it was necessarily terrible or the worst thing ever, I thought it was still quite entertaining. I felt like it just was kind of a cheap way to bring weapons into the match and kind of a cheap excuse for them to fight on the outside. Like, I think it would have been more epic if, let's say, Luchasaurus slammed Jack Perry through a part of the cage, and that's how they brawled outside and snuck weapons into the ring. I think that would have been more creative, but I still think it was really enjoyable. And the action from start to finish was nearly flawless. This is, in my opinion, either this or the Kenny Omega Dynamite match last year is Jungle Boy's best singles match for sure. And this is definitely Luchasaurus' best singles match as well. So, yeah, I hope this feud ends here, though. They've been feuding for a long time. They've been feuding since June. Well, Luchasaurus and Jungle Boy since like August or September. But this whole Christian Cage drama, it's been going on since June. I think it can end here. I feel like while the feud has been decent, I feel like there could have been some things done more throughout this feud. I think there could have been, maybe that personal segment, and that could have happened. I feel like that personal segment never really happened in this feud. I feel like there wasn't really that huge climax in this feud. I guess you could say it's this match, but this match is more like an endpoint to me than anything. But overall, though, I think this was a fantastic match. Definitely go out of your way to watch this match. Jungle Boy gets over in a big way, and honestly, it brings up the possibility of him being a title contender in the future. It was that good. I'm going to give it a 9.5 out of 10.
Yeah, this match was great. I loved it. Definitely 9.5. I loved the ending where Jungle Boy went from the top of the cage, did an elbow drop, went into the snare trap. Perfectly fine. I think that's great how they did that. I did love that Christian Cage just get pulled out by security. That's pretty funny. Saying like, "Hey, no one's interfering in this match. Get security out here, so we get these guys, get this fucker out of here." It's made me laugh to see him just trying to struggle, and I just love that. To me, Luchasaurus hit one security guard and just said, fuck it, just let him get dragged away." Not even helping his like friend or like his father figure. It just let him. Let's just fight him. It just made me laugh too about that. He just forgot about him.
Yeah, I don't know how I feel about that as well, considering Luchasaurus is supposed to kind of be like a servant. That felt kind of off to me too.
Yeah, so it was weird, but it was kind of funny at the same time. It was like, fuck it, I don't care about him. Just focus on Jungle Boy. So I think they did a great job. Jungle Boy, I'm hoping that he gets a title shot against against the AEW champion, or goes for another title if he wants to, like TNT or the what's it called, the All Atlantic title. Would be fun if he just does another title in general, a singles title. But definitely, I can't wait to see more from Jungle Boy or Luchasaurus. And I kind of don't think this is going to end until Jungle Boy gets his hands on Christian Cage in a real match. I think that's the only time it's going to end. It's until Jungle Boy defeats Christian Cage in a match, in in a match at like a lights out match or something. I don't know. That's the only way I think he's going to win. This match is going. This rivalry is going to end to me. And so yeah, that's for me.
Yeah, you're probably right, but I'm kind of hoping that they at least get like a 1 month break from each other, or at least take a break until Christian's fully healed up. Then Christian could attack Jungle, like something like that. I feel like for now this is a good endpoint. But yeah, what do you think, Chris?
Like I said, it's pretty solid. Not only that, they just showcase both guys really cool. And probably my favorite spot was definitely with Luchasaurus that kind of put Jungle Boy or Jack Perry's head against the steel cage, which made him bleed like profusely. And then immediately going for a choke slam through like a table that they set up from the outside forces or whatever. But it was a nice match. It was decent. It was great. It was a good way to kick off the show. And we will get to the next match right after this, Daniel.
Yep. So overall, 9 out of 10.
Mm-hmm.
Now we got the Trios Championship match, the Death Triangle versus the Elite. Now we're gonna disagree on a few of these matches, and this is definitely one of them. So, the Elite have returned after weeks of vignettes that have been playing on Dynamite, and the match was announced on last week's Dynamite. So the Elite came out to carry on. Carry on. I'm not gonna sing it. I'm not gonna sing it. Don't worry, people. Anyways, point being is, yeah, they came out to that shit. The crowd loved it, ate it up. Viewers at home also ate it up. And then the crowd erupted in massive, huge fuck CM Punk chants, which were aired on Being the Elite as well. That just the entire episode, almost the entire episode, I think, is just fuck CM Punk chants filmed from the crowd. So make what you will of that, I guess you could say. So yeah, the crowd just went off a lot in this match. And yeah, the Elite in Death Triangle, they did their thing. They performed the spots that they performed very well. There was only like one or two botches made throughout the match. Nothing, and they were very like low key botches. Nothing too crazy. But this is what I will say. I love this style of wrestling. All right, I do. Don't get it twisted. I love high flyers. I love, just out of this world shit that only a few people on this earth can really do. I love that shit. But seeing 50 super kicks a match and seeing 50,000 flips a match can get a little tiring after a while. And you see, like, some of my favorite wrestlers of all time, right? Like Roman Reigns, Randy Orton, The Rock, just Jeff Hardy. Yes, Jeff Hardy did flip, but he didn't have to rely on flips for the entirety of his moveset to carry a match. But my whole point being is I love that kind of wrestling, but when it's abused, I'm not gonna lie, it just makes me want to throw up in my fucking mouth. But yeah, overall, this is the kind of match that some people will love, and a lot of people have loved. I've seen a lot of praise over the internet on this match, and if you're one of the people that are praising this match, you know what? Go for it, man. Enjoy what you like. Enjoy what kind of wrestling is for you. But I'm gonna just say it flat out: this is not for me. I feel like I'm watching a fucking gymnastics show rather than a wrestling match, and that's just my opinion. And yes, you could say that there was the story involved within these past 2 months of Pac wanting Phoenix to use a hammer against an opponent to win a match, and it finally happened in this match. And I'm just gonna say this, right? It was long-term storytelling, I guess you could say, but I just didn't give a shit. I didn't give a shit about this whole Death Triangle sub story in general either. Like, I was like, okay, if Phoenix hits him, cool. If not, we get Pac versus Phoenix. Dope. Like, it all just didn't really matter, you know? At least just in my opinion. It all just feels like it's going nowhere with the Death Triangle, you know? And yes, they won. That surprised the shit out of me. But then it was announced that there was going to be a best of 7 series thanks to the critical acclaim this match got from many people. And I'm just going to say, I don't have a problem with best of 7 series. I love me a good best of 7 series if the rivalry, is good enough, if the wrestlers have just great enough chemistry to carry themselves for 7 straight matches. I don't want to see 7 matches of Death Triangle versus the Elite personally. I'm sorry. I just don't. I think having Ken wrestle in these matches every single week until he wrestles Will Ospreay could also risk his chances of getting hurt before fighting Will Ospreay, and that is something I definitely do not want, as Kenny versus Will has been one of my most anticipated matches for over the past year or so. So yeah, Kenny cannot get hurt, in my personal opinion, anytime soon, and I hope he will not. He probably won't, but it's just kind of idiotic to set him up in a possible situation that he could get hurt after, having to deal with nearly a year of, recovering from injuries he's had, sufferings from 2018. So my whole point being is these matches just aren't smart for your career. They're just not, and it's just all over the place. To me, they make no fucking sense, but I get it. You're supposed to kind of turn off your brain and enjoy this shit. And there are some spots and some moments where I was like, okay, that was cool. That was dope. But at the end of the day, this shit's just not for me. That's all I could really say. Overall, I'm going to give this a 6 out of 10.
Yeah, for me, this was a great match. I loved to see Elite come out with "Carry On My Wayward Son." It's a great song, and I think it fit their entrances so well. And I'm hoping that they keep on using that song. I think that's a great song, and Death Triangle came out too great too. The match started great. I loved it. The Fuck CM Punk was pretty just funny in general, and it was irritating just because I know I do like CM Punk, but to me it's still funny. But I think this was a great match. I love the flips, and I'm the guy who likes flips and super kicks. But I think for me, this is probably one of my favorite matches of the night. I'm definitely gonna give this like an 8.5. I love the match, and I can't wait to see more of the best of 7 series myself. That's all I have to say to this one.
For sure. I didn't think it was anything too crazy, but overall it was like kind of like those popcorn films where you just like it's just dumb fun. You just turn off your brain. So for what it was, it's gonna get like 7.5. But the best out of 7 series is kind of like a bit of an overkill sort of thing because I'm like, what's the point of having these guys fight the same team 7 times in a row when this whole arc of like the Death Triangle and the Elite is basically just filler due to the drama crap that happened a while ago. So hopefully they move away from it and Kenny doesn't get hurt.
And plus, it holds back any other teams for being able to fight for the trios titles for over a month and a half. If you want to see House of Black fight either Death Triangle or the Elite, it ain't gonna happen. So that's fucking stupid.
Yeah, I think that sucks too. But I think to me, they could pull out a lot of cool things in the Elite match. Maybe they can do some new things that no one would expect them to do in these matches, and that's what I'm more anticipated to see is new things that they don't expect.
All right. Now that's one of the matches we all had different takes on. Now this next match is going to be one we agree on. So, TBS Championship, Jade Cargill versus Nyla Rose. We're all tired of the Jade Cargill crap, but I'm going to be honest. As much as I dislike Jade Cargill, the streak is important, and I think the first person who beats Jade Cargill should be someone of importance, and it shouldn't just be someone just for the heck of it, And I understand it. We're all tired of Jade Cargill, but if I had it my way, I think Chris Statlander, once she returns, should be the one to dethrone Jade Cargill. because ever since Chris Statlander got into like, you know, her darker personality, I guess you could say, she never got a shot against Jade Cargill, and that match was teased quite a bit from time to time. And I would love to see that be fulfilled. I would love to see Chris Statlander get her moment over Jade Cargill. So yes, I don't think Nyla Rose should have got the win here. I'm glad Jade retained, but this does need to end sooner rather than later. This is getting tiring, and we've been saying it for a while that this is getting tiring. This isn't nothing new. The match, we don't mean to be too harsh, but I'm just gonna straight up say it. Fucking sucked. Awful. I don't ever want to see these two fight again, especially when you're making your viewers pay $50. Why in your right fucking mind would you make viewers pay $50 for this? A show that's nearly 5 hours and you fill it with crap like this? It makes zero sense. So, yeah, that's all I could say before I go on a tangent. 3 out of 10. Absolute waste of time, waste of money, waste of space, waste of these two people being in the ring on that night. It makes zero fucking sense why they're even booked on a card for that makes people pay $50. It's absolutely outrageous. Like, seeing a bad match on a WWE premium live event at least is like excusable because it's only $5 a month. This bullshit's $50. Like, what the fuck is this? Why am I paying $50 to watch these two put on an absolutely garbage match for a title nobody gives a fuck about? I'm sorry. I don't care about the TBS title. No one does. This title was just made to get Jade Cargill over because they don't want to put the main title on her. And I'm sorry, this shit's whack. It's boring. It's garbage, and I'm fucking tired of it. And that's all I have to say. We're playing nothing but Marina Shafir's and Nyla Rose's against her. And you're all making people like, you all want us to be entertained by this garbage? And you're harassing people when they don't want to watch this garbage? Are you fucking serious?
Yeah, I'm gonna be harsh because I don't really care about this. To me, to me this match is a 1. I hate these. Mainly, I just hate Jade. I like Nyla. Nyla Rose is fun. I like her, but Jade is just stupid. I hate her. The TBS Championship doesn't care about that much. It's just a 0 title. It's not a main title. It's what I call the 0 title. No one really cares. No one gives a fuck about it. It can be my guest. Be on a rampage if they want to. Just do a rampage. I don't care. It's just stupid. Jade just needs to lose that title to like Madison Rain or freaking someone that deserves that title a lot more than her. Tony Storm versus Jade could be a lot better if they wanted to do that shit or something. I just can't. I don't want to go into tangent, but this match sucked. And sucked because I like Nyla Rose, but Jade just sucks. I never liked her very often, but it's a 1. I never liked it. 1 out of 10.
Yeah, and the funny thing is too, because like the first 3 minutes of the match, it was actually pretty decent up until like Nyla Rose and Jade Cargill actually went outside, and the whole match just turned into shit like real bad. And the TBS Championship belt doesn't mean anything. It's just the FTW belt, where it's just for one certain person, just a jobber. Like, I get it, she's popular. At the time, I did like her, but like over like almost like a year, we've seen what she's done, and she's still like doing botches every matches. I'm like, yeah, she's good at promos or whatever, but who cares at the end of the day? It's just overdone. It's boring. It should have been a pre-show. A 0.
Like, honestly, bro, this is fucking insulting to put in front of your audience. Like, this is actually a slap in the face, and we as viewers are supposed to agree with them over JD on this shit.
Yes.
I'm not gonna go too far into that.
Oh yeah, real
But
quick before we move on, this is the exact same moment where the crowd just fucking died. So that kind of tells you like what went wrong so quickly.
maybe it was this match. Maybe it was this match. This match is fucking dog shit. Why did I give it a 3? This is a fucking 1. This is a 1. If I could give it anything below below a 1, it's so dog shit I can't even speak coherently. But yeah, if this was anything below a 1, I would give it below a 1. But I'm being nice. I'm going to give it a 1 just because of the little opening where they go to the outside. I guess that was kind of cool. But yeah, bullshit. How can you make people pay for this fucking shit is beyond me.
Oh, and then one last thing.
Oh wait, what's up?
It's nothing major. It's just the only thing I actually liked about the match was Nyla Rose did that little thing with Eddie Guerrero thing, but that's about it.
Oh,
That,
so the intro, the
that shit.
entrance.
That shit.
Not even a part of the actual match, just the entrance. Yeah, yeah. Basically, that's why you gave it a 0, folks. Nothing redeemable about this match. The other thing, though, that I will say is like how you compare it to the FTW Championship. At least with the FTW Championship, it has a rich history behind it in ECW. And with the current holder being Taz's son Hook, at least he has good matches despite how short they are, and he is entertaining. And we all know the potential he has to become one of the best wrestlers of the 2020s. So at least with the FTW Championship, that makes sense, and he's holding promise, you know. And Ricky Starks had a fun reign before that, despite not retaining that much. And Brian Cage didn't really do much with the belt, but seeing him hold the belt made the belt look important. So yeah, I guess that's what I could say about it. The TBS title so far has no reason to exist, other than put Jade Cargill over. So yeah, moving on, folks, to the Ring of Honor Championship match: Chris Jericho, Bryan Danielson, Claudio Castagnoli, and Sammy Guevara. Fatal 4-way. Oh, man. Man, oh, man. This was an amazing match, but it had a horrible ending. So, I'm going to be honest. There were multiple great near falls. One of them, or two of them actually, had Sammy look like he had the match won. And I'm going to be honest, it nearly made me shit myself out of terror. But yeah, man, everyone did their part. And as much as I dislike Sammy Guevara, I will admit it seems like he's kind of got his groove back going here. It's probably because he's been in the ring with greats like Bryan Danielson and Claudio. So, it's pretty easy to have great matches with guys of that caliber. But I'm not going to just say they carried or anything. Sammy's been doing his thing, and I'll give him that credit. But Jericho retains. But here's the ending that happened here. Claudio was doing the Cesaro swing, or the Claudio swing, I don't know what it's called anymore, on Sammy Guevara. And Jericho tried to hit the Judas on Claudio, but instead of running up and spinning and hitting the Judas like he usually does, he decided to jump. And he basically just broke up the swing rather than hitting the Judas. But it looked horrible. And yeah, all I could say is I was going to give it a 9 because it was just so competitive and really, really great action from beginning to end. But thanks to that ending, it's going from a 9 to an 8.5 out of 10 because Jericho never jumps during the Judas. He just runs up and spins and hits, and that's how it's supposed to be done. When you do that move, you don't jump up and hit the elbow. It's not a Superman elbow, for fuck's sake. It's the Judas. So, yeah, that's all I could say.
Yeah, you said enough. When I was watching this match, it was a great match. I loved it. Sammy Guevara really showed that he can be great if he wanted to, with all this stuff he did, and he really could have won it, but his almost jaw dropped myself too. But the thing that pretty much blew me out of the match perspective, or like pretty much saying like, wait, what the hell happened, and got me out of the match, was Chris Jericho leaping Judas. It's really weird. I just didn't like it. It made the match just mellow out now, and I just didn't like how he just did the freaking jumping over the giant swing of Cesaro. So I never liked it. So even though I know I like Chris Jericho too, and I can't wait for the new match that's going to happen on Dynamite, Chris Jericho versus Tomohiro Ishii, one of my favorites, Tomohiro Ishii. But this match was great. I still liked it. I would love to give it like a 9 or maybe 9.5. But same thing. It's that Judas effect leaping. So I'm gonna give this an 8 for me.
And yeah, I'm gonna give it 8 too. The only complaint, like we said before, was just the ending because it was done so sloppily, but it was great. Sammy's getting his groove back together. He even had that little banter between Bryan Danielson and Claudio Castagnoli. So if they ever do like a singles competitive match between the two, I'm looking forward to it. So that's all I can really say. 8.5.
The next match is Saraya versus Britt Baker. This is actually Saraya's first match back in wrestling after 5 years. She had to retire in late 2017 when she was in a 6-woman tag fighting Sasha Banks and a few other women. But Sasha accidentally kicked her back so hard that it fucked up her back and neck. And, Sasha was really sorry for like a long time. This is something that, we could tell from the outside looking in has been something she definitely regrets and has apologized for. But, that's what the sport's about. Accidents definitely happen. And that's the accident, Sasha did. And she learned from it, as we've seen. And, Saraya has been able to get cleared and return by AEW doctors this year. And overall, I thought the first half of this match was kind of slow, but it was supposed to be. It's supposed to give us this impression that Saraya doesn't really have what it takes anymore against, Britt, who is in her prime, I guess people could say. And how I criticized Logan Paul about having, a moveset that everyone else uses? I have that same fucking problem with Britt Baker, and I've had it for a very long time. The curb stomp, Seth Rollins. The Sunrise, or Canadian Destroyer, what is obviously inspired from Adam Cole. And then, her finisher, lockjaw finisher, is basically Mick Foley inspired. Simply, again, she lacks originality herself. But with that being said, this is one of Britt Baker's best matches in AEW. And I felt like it was a great return for Saraya. The last 5 minutes were very action-packed as well. Saraya hit 2 rampages to win the match. I thought it was a great return match. Maybe it wasn't perfect, but I thought it was great. And I thought Saraya looked very good in general. And I'm glad to see her return. And I hope for the best for her in this AEW run. And I think her fighting Toni Storm, fighting Jamie Hayter, all those matches, Athena, oh my God. Yeah, we're going to have some fun, folks. 8 out of 10 is my rating.
Yeah, so for me, I'm back now. There's a fun fact I love about Saraya, and this is why a big thing about me is the fun fact is that her entrance music is the Fallen Reverse Zombified, which, funny enough, is the Ronnie Raki, the lead singer, is Soraya's boyfriend. I think not fiance, but boyfriend, which is interesting.
Yeah, the lead singer of from Reverse, right?
Yes, so it's very cool that she has that song, the Fallen Reverse Zombified. So I love that. But this match was great. I love seeing Paige back or Saraya back. And I do have a big gripe about that too, about Britt Baker. But one move I think is understandable, and that's the pile driver, because that's Britt Baker's husband's move. So she wants to use that. So it kind of makes sense. But the rest of the thing, that can be passed. But the pile driver, I think it's perfectly fine. But the match was great. I think it showed that she's trying to get into her element. She hasn't wrestled for a good while, so I think it makes sense that this was kind of slow, but I think it was great. Later in her career in AEW, she should get faster and more better. But I think the match was great. She uses her finisher still, the Rampage, which I don't know if she says that name still. But and another thing I like is that her brother was there too on ringside. So I kind of love that he was there too. But I think the match was great. I can't wait to see more from Saraya. Definitely an 8 for me.
And I'm gonna be the odd one out here. For one things first, Fallen in Reverse is a terrible band, and I hate that band. They're just as bad as Pierce the Veil, but I'm not gonna get into that. As the match itself, it wasn't anything great. It was very average, and I get she hasn't wrestled in some time long or whatever. But I just didn't really find it too impressive and funny enough. I kind of felt the same way about Toni Storm too. But I know as she wrestles more and more, I'll probably be a fan. And the funniest thing too is like her brother was like the only person in the crowd that was like going hard, and I'm just like, dude, where was this energy for all the other matches? But it was okay. I'm just gonna give it a 5 for what it was, and I'm really surprised she won because I thought Britt Baker was gonna like just be like, oh, it's about me. I need to win this, but She was cool in this instance. So it wasn't anything great. It wasn't anything crazy. It
Damn,
was all
losing in
right.
her return match?
Yeah.
That would have been awful.
Well, it's Britt Baker, dude. You know them backstage
Well,
politics, man.
well, shit. Hopefully she'll pull over Jamie Hayter too while we're at it. At Winter is Coming, but we'll talk about that more in depth later. So next match here, I'm going to be kind of quick. Let these two talk about it more. It is going to be TNT Championship, Wardlow, Samoa Joe, Powerhouse Hobbs. 3 big men going at it. I thought that this was kind of slightly above average. You know, it was nothing too crazy or out of the norm, which is kind of underwhelming because I thought this could have been something great if all 3 of them went 100%. But I'm starting to understand more that Joe is he's getting older, he's past his prime, but he's still great. You know, I just feel like this match wasn't really the kind of match that utilized him to the best of his abilities. But the best part about this match is that he is now the new TNT champion, and yeah, that makes him a double champion because he's also the Ring of Honor TV champion. So yeah, great shit right there, double champ Joe, pretty awesome. But yeah, outside of that, it's just slightly above average, nothing crazy to rave about. Kind of underwhelming, if anything, but it's not a bad match by any means. I am going to give this a 6 out of 10.
Yeah, this match was not that bad. I actually liked how they did this. I was expecting Powerhouse to win or Wardlow, but I was surprised to see Samoa, and I'm perfectly fine with it. I actually love Samoa between both of these guys. I think Samoa's great. He's one of the best heels for a long time. Even on Impact, is one of the best. And AEW, I'm hoping that he's going to be one of the best too. This was a pretty good match. It was mediocre, but it was still very good. I like how they did this. The Samoa Joe hitting the Wardlow in the back with the title, then going for the cookie to clutch on Powerhouse Hobbs. It was perfect, and I think they did a great job. And now, congratulations to Samoa Joe to become the double champion. So definitely 6 out of 10 for me.
Yeah,
All
like you
right.
said, it was perfect for what it was. The only thing that I really enjoyed about the match is the possible team up of Powerhouse Hobbs and Wardlow teaming up because Joe, I didn't understand it at first, but Daniel explained to me like there are no DQs with trios matches when he explained it because I was just like, wait a
Yeah,
minute.
in triple threats, there aren't DQs.
Yeah, because Samoa Joe cheated at the end. I'm like, what the fuck? You can't just do that. And it kind of like just ruined it. I'm like, ah, whatever. But the match itself wasn't anything too great. And it was only like 10 minutes, so I guess it was nothing crazy. So it was fine. So 6.
All right, next one. No disqualification, no count out tag team match. Darby Allin and Sting versus Jeff Jarrett and Jay Lethal. I do not like Jeff Jarrett. I was not happy when he was signed in terms of just being on screen. I'm fine with him off screen and him doing stuff behind the scenes. I'm perfectly okay with that. But in terms of him taking away TV time from those of like Miro, Andrade, Roosh, just all those great talents, seeing him take that spotlight was just kind of irritating. It still kind of is, but what can I say, man? Darby and Sting never failed to amaze me. And this match was just great. Probably Jay Lethal's best match in AEW. And he contributed the least to this match, so that kind of says it all. No, I'm just joking here. Jeff Jarrett really didn't get much offense in at all. He took a lot of bumps. The only big moment he had was when he hit Darby in the back with that guitar. But yeah, overall, great match. I thought it was really fun. I didn't mind this being on the show at all. Another 8 out of 10 for me.
Yeah, this was fun. It was not really hyped for this match. I felt like this was just going to be a really bad match, just like the Ric Flair's last match with Jeff Jarrett, Jay Lethal, and Andrade. I thought that was going to be like this match right here. Just going to be dumb. It didn't look good. It was not good. But it surprised me. It was not that bad. It was okay. I loved that Sting and Darby Allin did a double team on the big man. I forgot his name, but they did a big man. They did the Scorpion Death Drop with the coffin splash, the coffin drop together. So it's perfect. I liked how they did this, and Darby Allin and Sting never disappoints. And I think they did a great job. Even Jay Lethal at the same time. I think he did a great job too. I don't care that much. I don't remember that much of Jeff Jarrett. I know he's annoying sometimes when he's wrestling and stuff, but to me, it's just fun to see him. Just like some of the old timers just pop up in there. So to me, it's cool. I think definitely, I would say it's maybe a 7.5 for me.
He's also the wild slap nuts. If you understand reference, go check out the YouTube channel. But anywho, I think the biggest surprise that I got out of this match was the fact I'm gonna say his name wrong, but that tall dude you're referring to is like Sata. It's like Sata Nog Singh or some shit like that.
I just wanted to hear you say it wrong
I'm
before I corrected
sorry,
you.
just say it. I can't
It's
say it.
Samir. It's Samir Singh.
You see, I'm not gonna pronounce that. That's too hard.
Samir
It's really easy.
Samir
Singh.
Singh.
Samir Singh.
Okay, whatever. Point being, he was actually the most entertaining person in this whole match. Surprisingly, he was giving all the roughest damages to Darby Allin, like from his like catches and throwing him across like the ring and then across like the barricade. It was just insane. Like this guy is ready for the big show, and he's not going to be a great colleague. I think this guy will actually like do pretty well on his own after this shitty feud that's going to happen for quite some time now. I'm kind of over it, but the match itself feels great. There's a lot of bumps, so it was fun. I'm gonna give it 8.
All right, now we are moving on to the AEW Women's Championship match: Toni Storm versus Jamie Hayter. Now, I'm gonna keep it real with y'all. I thought that this was the best AEW women's match ever so far in its almost 4-year history. Yes, even better than both of the Britt Baker, or all three of the Britt Baker and Thunder Rosa matches. Even better. This was fucking perfect. The near falls were just out of this world, just insane. You know, whenever Britt Baker hit the curb stomp, you thought it was over there. Whenever Toni Storm hit the Storm Zero, you thought it was over there. You know, Toni Storm had to battle all these shenanigans, and she looked very strong, but she still lost because that wasn't her night. It was Jamie Hayter's night. Jamie Hayter has put over other people for a long time now, and she has honestly carried every single wrestler in this division to at least a good match. And honestly, she is my personal best women's wrestler of 2022. I would go that far. I think Jamie Hayter is incredible. And I think giving her the championship on this night was the perfect decision. If it didn't happen here, it would have been really late. This was the perfect night to do this. Jamie Hayter got her night. She won. She is the new AEW Women's Champion. And you notice how I'm not saying interim till now? Yeah, we're not saying interim around here. This is the Women's Champion. And Tony Khan, you're a fucking moron for the fact that Thunder Rosa, it has the ability to walk after over 3 months. Over 3 months of not being able to walk. And you have decided to make these women be called interim champions. And now Toni Storm's whole run was an interim run. So that means her entire reign doesn't count in the record books. And that is kind of bullshit. So that I don't fuck with. But that's Tony Khan's fault. That has nothing to do with this match or the wrestlers. This is a flawless, perfect match. One of the best matches of 2022. I was impressed. Incredibly impressed. This is the best match in both of these women's careers. Easily one of the best women's matches I've ever seen. Yeah, I'm singing my praises a lot on this one, and I have every right to. The last minute, I was just out of my fucking seat, and I just couldn't believe what I was watching anymore. And, when Jamie Hayter got that victory, man, that was one of the most satisfying victories I've probably ever seen. Wow. And she's a heel. But you know what this means? AEW, you got to turn her face. And you got to make her not the interim champion, the real women's champion. And those are the two things I want to see happen. Overall, Jamie Hayter, congratulations. New AEW women's champion. Rightfully so. She is the best thing in that entire division, not Britt Baker. She is not Britt Baker's sidekick, not anymore. She is her superior, and this is what I've always wanted to see. 10 out of 10.
Yeah, I can't say anything more what you said. 100% 10 out of 10. It's so deserving from Jamie Hayter to win this. Jamie Hayter is one of the best right now on the women's roster, and no one can compare it to her. She's been great. She's just too. She deserved that so long ago. She should have won that more or less at the Forbidden Door. Oh no, not Forbidden Door, was it? I think it was Forbidden Door.
All Out, last pay-per-view All Out you're thinking of, right?
Oh yeah. I was like, yeah, she should have won it at All Out. It's completely she should have, but no, because of Britt Baker. So I'm hoping that she 100% goes face and fights against Britt Baker, just so she can just kill Britt Baker and get her over with, so no one else needs to be in her way. Jamie Hayter is one of the best and deserves that women's championship completely. 110 out of 10.
New Year's Smash or Winter's Coming. Do it at one of those two Dynamites. So, Chris, what do you think?
Honestly, it was one of the best matches of the pay-per-view. And it's kind of funny too because it outdoes like the main event, but honestly, it kind of sucked that the crowd was super super dead for this match because there was no flaws whatsoever.
They weren't during the second half because they started to realize how great it was.
Yeah, and then like you said before, even though like Jamie Hayter, she didn't even need to cheat really. It was mostly just Britt Baker just kind of throwing herself in there. And
You
even though
cut
that,
out.
oh sorry, it's just because even though that they tried to cheat or whatever, Britt Baker was trying to help Jamie Hayter win. It didn't even matter because at the end of the day, Tony Storm looked strong, and then Jamie Hayter won without cheating anyways because she just won her with her finishing move. So it looked both good on both parties. So it's perfect. 10 out of 10.
All right, nice. So you said she didn't even need to cheat, but you didn't mind that she cheated?
Yeah, it didn't mind because, like you said, it didn't add anything to the match. And then Tony Stark got out of it. And at the end, Jamie Hayter won just on her finisher and her moves alone. So it was cool seeing that.
Yeah, agreed. Now, these next two matches, they were 100% done for, the crowd I'm referring to. And yeah, this is where I dive more into it. To that New York, or not New York, I love New York. It's of course it's not New York, it's New Jersey. Anyways, New Jersey. To everyone who was in that crowd in night, y'all don't deserve another AEW pay-per-view in your entire lifetimes. Dead silence during the AEW Tag Team Championships and the AEW Championship main event. That is absolutely beyond disrespectful, and there is no point in paying for a fucking ticket, especially to be silent at what is one of the 4 biggest pay-per-views of the entire year. Fuck off with that bullshit. Anyways, enough of the crowd. Fuck them. Let's move on. AEW Tag Team Championship match. Flames versus Swerve in Glory 3. Thought it was a great match, I don't think I liked it as much as the Grand Slam match, but I liked it more than the All-In match. Or All-Out match, sorry. So, yeah, I thought it was great. I think overall, the Acclaimed winning, I think it's fine because we're going to get Keith Lee versus Swerve, and that'll be a great singles feud. But I would have personally liked if Swerve in Their Glory won and cheated the win, so we could have got FTR beating their belts at Winners Coming Your Final Battle. But I guess all dreams can't come true, can they? The Acclaimed are going to continue with their reign to when, I don't fucking know. But hey, it is what it is. I personally think FTR are more deserving of holding the belts than anyone. No, that's just me. They really are the best tag team of 2022 in my eyes. So, yeah. All I will say is this, though. Great match. 8 out of 10. I enjoyed it.
Yeah, for me, I loved the match. It was fun. I loved that. It could seriously, Survivor and Glory had a lot of chances that they could have won. That there's so many moves that they felt like, oh, I think they're gonna win here, but no, Acclaimed pretty much came back and showed that they deserve to be be title champions. And I think they're good champions for a good while until FTO takes them. But right now, I think this was a great match. I think they did a good job. Good tag team match. Definitely, let's say 8.5 for me.
And yeah, and then also too, besides the great match, it had great storytelling where essentially the Keith Lee and Swerve Strickland are pretty much done because after that disrespectful slap, he kind of just walked out on them, and it kind of caused them the match. And if anything, I know the biggest concern right now that me and Danny were talking about is like if they ever do like an FTR versus the Acclaim, if they make the FTR the heels, but I hope they don't. Hopefully, it's just a face versus face. But then again, the Acclaim are really big over right now, so the match itself is getting an A. But that's really the only concern I have for the future.
Yeah, it sets their tag division with uncertainty, and I don't like it. So, main event time. Chris, MJF's been your boy for the entirety of this podcast.
Yeah.
We'll let you go first.
This is actually one of the weaker matches because the whole time, I mean, John Moxley outfit alone was tragic, but the match was so boring. And the only real cool thing that happened was William Regal turning on the Combat Club. But other than that, it was mostly just MJF getting his ass kicked. And, for like these past couple of weeks, we're building up MJF to be like, oh, he doesn't need a cheat to win. He's got the confidence ready. But, nah, you don't really see it. The match was slow for like no reason whatsoever. And then John Moxley was just being a dick the whole time. And MJF was just being like a coward. And I'm like, dude, come on. But it wasn't until like the last 10 minutes where things started to pick up. But overall, the match is very boring. But I get it after a while of using John Moxley like every other week. It would do that to a like those kind of wrestler guys. So it's gonna get like a 5, very average, but cool ending. And I'm looking forward to what AEW has to offer in the future. And right, champion.
Well, yeah, MJF is the new champ. What do you think he said about at the medium scrum, Chris?
It's great. It's funny too because like I can't. Well, I guess we can say it because he just goes off as like I'm the next big thing, and he's also taking a lot of things from CM Punk too, as Daniel mentioned before. So I'm pretty sure he will come back eventually, hopefully to take it from MJF. But as for now, hopefully his reign's like a year long. That's all I can really hope for.
Yeah, MJF's worthy of a year-long title reign. I think that's obvious.
But yeah, that's all I can really add to it, man.
Yeah. Now, I thought this match was mid as fuck. But, especially for a pay-per-view main event, mid as fuck. Well, the main event was amazing. I mean, not the main event. The ending was amazing. The ending where Regal turned on Moxley. Yeah. I think MJF is amazing on his own, but adding Regal to that is really a dynamic that you can't really deny. And I'm glad Tony Khan didn't deny it either. MJF is the new champion. Oh, man. That definitely was a goal for 2022 to make sure the belt was on this guy eventually. And I'm glad it was accomplished. And it might have been a bit of a bumpy road, to where we are now for him. A lot of people speculated he could have joined WWE just a few months ago and he's the AEW champion. It's just really funny to kind of think of looking back on it all. So, yeah, overall 6 out of 10. It would have been the match itself is a 5, but the ending and what could come after elevates it all to a 6.
Yeah, the match was very slow. I didn't 100% big thing for me, but I'm pretty happy that MJF finally got the title. But it kind of sucked that he didn't win clean. I didn't expect him to win clean, but I kind of wish that at least he didn't win by a brass. When maybe I kind of wish what he brass knuckled him and then went to Salt of the Earth. That would have been a little bit better of a nicer twist to it. But because they didn't do that, it kind of I didn't feel like they showed like a good champion to me. But at least he got the title finally, and I did like William Regal kind of turning on John Moxley. And the most interesting thing is if you didn't probably don't catch, but you go on YouTube and you can see after the match, like when people were just recording John Moxley just getting pissed off, like saying like to his other people, his Blackpool Combat Club people, saying like what happened, and they're saying hey, William Regal betrayed you, like just like trying to comfort him, saying what happened, and I think that kind of made it a lot more dramatic for John Moxley. Why would you do this? Like he was contemplating why would he do this to him. And it was really interesting how they did that. It was a great story twist. So I'm hoping MGF has a good career, has a good future. I'm just hoping that he does it better. Maybe changes his style up. I'm hoping that MJF has a promising career, and hoping that he gets his next challenger, gives him a run for his money. This is probably for me a 6.5.
Now, his next challenger is going to be either Ethan Page or Ricky Starks at Winter is Coming. What do you all think it'll be?
Ethan.
I hope it's Ethan, but I don't know. I know they're pushing Ricky because he won the qualifier match, right, for the pre-shows.
He beat Lance and Bryan, so I think it would be kind of easy for him to beat Ethan after those 2 victories. So I actually think Ricky will be the babyface to fight MJF first. And I think MJF versus Ricky Starks would be a great match for Winter is Coming.
Yeah, that'd be interesting. Right now Ricky has been doing great so far, and I think Ricky is doing great as a solo competitor right now. So it would be interesting to see MJF versus Ricky.
Yep. And overall, I thought it was a very good show. Despite the rocky past 2 months AEW has had, this was a very good pay-per-view. And this could be a chance for them to get back on their feet. Who knows? I'm going to give it a 7.5 out of 10.
Yeah, for me, I give it. I'll give it I'll probably give it a 7. I'll probably say not really worth the $5 if you can find it for $50 if you can find it for free. Perfectly honest, if it's $50 that were like not really needed, you can just find out and maybe watch the matches for free somewhere else. But I think definitely it was a good pay-per-view. Definitely a big switch for AEW right now, showing the new era, pretty much a new era of him with the new era of MJF, pretty much. So I think definitely a 7 for 7.
And I'll do the same as 7. Keep it nice and simple.
Yep. So, thank you all so much for watching. I've been Daniel.
I've been Berman.
And Chris.
And we'll see you all in the next video, which will be probably our Survivor Series 2022 review. Let's see how that compares. Take it easy.